I've got a demo. I'm going to start with an overview of what we're talking about here. So this is basically sort of the way we envision B2C micropayments possibly working on sort of a news or media website, okay? On the left, we have the consumer. They have a Hedera cryptocurrency wallet, likely as a Chrome extension, some such thing, in their browser. On the right, we have some sort of web server or business. They have a cryptocurrency wallet so they can receive payment. Okay. They also on that side sort of have possibly some sort of payments software that we've given them that allows them to embed that into their website so it can talk to Hedera and actually handle a payment. So the first step is the user's going to request access to some sort of digital asset, a song, a video, an article, a file. All right, the website's going to basically tell the user that, hey, this costs something now, all right, in that response. The user can then decide, hey, well, am I willing to pay for that or not, based on how much it is? And if so, if they are willing to pay, then, in JavaScript, in the browser, we'll basically create the micropayment transaction and sign that micropayment transaction, with the private key that's in the browser in the wallet. That micropayment transaction now is going to be sent down to the web server, and the little payment the payment software we have there is going to turn around and in step 4 send that to Hedera, all right, where Hedera is going to essentially process that crypto transfer. So that a certain amount of currency is now going to be moved from the user or consumer's account into the business's account, in this case. All right. Now, if that payment completes okay, then in step 5, that digital asset can actually be now shared with the user, and they can read the article, watch the video, whatever it might be. So that's it in a nutshell. All right. Now I'm going to basically shift, and I'm going to sort of show how we feel, this can be sort of adopted, by websites and by consumers. If we get the video up, here we go. So before I get started, I'll just sort of set this up. This is an example website, newspaper article, sort of newspaper website. On the top right, you'll see a tiny little black HBAR logo that indicates that we have a Chrome extension installed that supports HBAR. Okay, so the fact that it's black here sort of indicates that the Daily Bugle sort of accepts HBAR if you want to pay for the articles, basically here. All right, so I have that Chrome extension, that's my wallet, all right? It's basically a Chrome extension wallet that's basically installed. And obviously the Daily Bugle's been enabled to support sort of Hedera or HBAR micropayments, essentially, in the background. So I'm going to start the demo. So we're going to sort of highlight the fact that, it still has the existing business models in place. But then, if we pause right there, all right, so that shows that the Chrome extension has, about, my browser wallet has about $20 of HBAR in it, okay? And if you can see there down the bottom, and I'm actually reading this in real time, all right, it basically says that we're not going to support any payments on this domain. It sort of says 0. So that basically means I've got to authorize or consent to actually any payments coming out of my account if one of these articles costs more than 0. So that means that anything that's on the website that's free, basically I can just read and look at. But if one of those articles costs something, then I'm going to actually have to consent to that in this situation. Now the whole point of this sort of demo is to sort of make it very transparent to the user, all right? I've done single sign-on demos in the past where basically you show people starting at one place and moving to another place and they don't have to authenticate. And they go, why doesn't it always work that way? The whole point of this is to actually make it very transparent to the user. So there's a few setup things they have to do, but you'll see in a minute that it starts to get simpler and easier the more they use it. So starting the demo again, you can sort of see that you can see their public key, all right. You can see there hasn't been any recent transactions. Now they're going to click on an article they want to read. All right, now we let a little sort of thing at the top, and let's sort of, just wait a second, pause right there, actually. All right, so that article costs a small micropayment to actually read. And in this case, there's a little, some JavaScript is, popping up to basically allow the user to consent or authorize that they're willing to pay. In this case, it's, I think, 0.02 of a penny or something like that to read that article. All right? They get to authorize it. Okay? They also say, hey, anything on this website, the Daily Bugle, that costs 0.02 of a penny, okay, I'm okay with basically paying that for all the other articles as well. So basically it's consenting to it and then saying, hey, anything else that's 0.02 of a penny, I don't want to be prompted again, just debit me when I read these articles. So let's keep moving forward. All right, I approve the debit. Now I get to see the article. Notice how the ads have gone in this case. No ads on this page because I paid for it, which would be nice in many situations. Now we're going to go back to the website. We're going to look actually at a video instead. Now, videos for different reasons. Let's pause right there. All right, videos for different reasons cost more. In the case of the video, it's going to be 0.05 of a penny. All right, so in this case, I need to, because I've only approved previously up to 0.02 of a penny, now I'm going to approve, hey, 0.05 of a penny is okay as well. All right, let's click forward, keep moving. So in this case, I'm going to approve it and say yes, and we can now watch the video. Very nice. Now, obviously in the background, I'm seeing stuff debited out of my account, basically. This is all happening in real time. Now, if we go look at my, my wallet, or my Chrome extension, if we pause right there, actually, you'll see now that the Chrome extension has gone to green. And that's sort of meant to be a signal to the user that this website not only supports HBAR, but you've actually approved sort of auto debits for this website. So basically, if it's green, you know that if you're clicking on things, it's highly likely you're going to be basically paying for things behind the scenes when you read them and access them. So in this case, my fiat amount hasn't changed, all right, because the amount of HBAR we were talking about was so small, all right. So essentially, even though I've done two things, in dollars, it really hasn't moved the needle at all. But obviously, my HBAR amounts have been debited. If you move forward here a little bit now, you can also see that my defaults have changed on what I'm willing to pay on the site, and also my transaction history for the two transactions I've seen. So now we're going to skip forward, and I'm going to start to interact on this site. I hope you don't get seasick here. Lots of things are going to happen. All right. Watching videos, reading articles, doing all sorts of things. Let's slow it down a second now. All right, if we pause right now. So, 7 hours later, I've finished reading the Daily Bugle, okay? And I've spent all of 58 cents now for all those things that I've seen and read online. Happily paid for them. Preferably without any advertising coming at me and stuff like that. But it's all happened transparently in the background, sort of, in real time. This has occurred. All right, let's move forward a second. You can sort of see all the transaction history of everything that occurred while you're doing it. All right, so I changed to a slightly different use case. Let's pause right there, actually. So, I've always been frustrated that I get sent really interesting articles to read via Slack, via email, via text, stuff like that, and I click on them and I get put up against a paywall and I actually can't access that, that article that I'd like to read. And to be honest, I just like to read the article. I actually don't want to sign up, as I said, for that service just to read that one article. All right, so this is sort of an example of how we might be able to address that with micropayments. So if you click forward a second here, if you move forward, the user's going to sort of click on this really interesting article they want to read. I pause there, actually. So now I'm back at the Daily Bugle. This is a different user in this case. okay? So they haven't been to the Daily Bugle before. They've been told by a friend to read this article. Now, rather than signing up for that $19.99 a month thing to actually read it, guess what? I can actually, because I have my Hedera Micropayments Chrome extension installed, and this website supports HBAR, I can actually approve now just a one-time payment for 2/100 of a penny just to read this article, and maybe never go back to this website again because I didn't like it. But that's okay. I paid to read it. I was okay paying to read it, and I'm good with it moving forward. So if we move forward, you can see, hey, I paid, and there it is. I get to read the article now. I would love to be able to do this today. Now, maybe I might uplift myself to a subscription service at a later date. All right, maybe it's like less expensive if it's a subscription service, because I actually am okay with that. There's all sorts of business models that can emerge. So sort of in summary, I think micropayments are going to be one of the main differentiators, of the Hedera platform. We definitely think that decentralized micropayments can disrupt some of the Web 2.0 business models that are out there. I mean, we can handle smart contracts. We're going to give you a file system. But we're really excited, about the micropayments models here. And basically the fact that it's going to be economically viable, to send runtime, ad hoc, decentralized micropayments between parties. Really, really excited about that. And I think that's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.